Welcome back to Let's Play Metal Gear Solid 2. We have just defeated Solidus Snake and Vamp piloting Harrier 2, and he basically messed up the connecting bridge between Shell 1 and 2 pretty bad. So we're going to have to go and cross over in this rather abnormal way across this pipe. That looked safe. Okay, be careful because there's bird crap over here. And you don't want to slip on that. Oh, fire. Yeah, I forget about that. Now watch out, some of these platforms will give way. Jeez, they really did not build the big shell that well. I mean, I know there was an explosion and all. Oh! What the hell? Sure, I was positioned right on top of the thing.
Jack, please answer me! Jack!
Let's try that again, shall we? And here we are. And there. That wasn't so hard, was it? Oh, crud.
This is not a pretty sight.
Well, we gotta
Hurry up and check the situation.
dodge these guys. In the last episode, a couple of little things just happened. Oh, maybe I'm not gonna dodge them. Solid Snake, the guy who was calling himself Solid Snake, turned out to be Solidus Snake. And the guy who was claiming to be Pliskin has now admitted to being Solid Snake. As screwy as that may sound. Is flipping over your head really necessary, buddy? But hey, what's that all about? Everybody's lying about who they are. But we have finally come face to face with the antagonist of this game. It's taken a little bit of time. Unlike in the first Metal Gear Solid game where we saw Liquid Snake before they even managed to take control of the character. Oh,
Encounter the enemy.
stupid gun cipher. I don't think these things actually exist. It'd be awesome if they did, but I don't think they do exist. Okay, we're gonna have to chaff it. I think you gotta make sure that you don't accidentally chuck the chaff grenade over the side, because if it falls too far, it won't go off on it, I think. Anything, we've also seen Metal Gear, but we saw Metal Gear Ray. And from what we've heard, there was a Metal Gear under development here. What the hell was that? They're actually building a Metal Gear here? But the Metal Gear we saw was Ray. Remember, since Ocelot took Ray, you'd think he'd sell it or something, but no, he's holding on to it. And he's pulled this thing out and is using it to defend the big shell. So I don't know what his plan with Ray was there. But we've seen the wrong Metal Gear. And the actual Metal Gear in development here has not been shown yet. It's pretty cool because I think this is the first game in the series that has had multiple Metal Gears. There's a lot of these gun ciphers floating around here. Well, we have these doors here. We can't get through these. We don't have the key card for that yet. So we're gonna have to go and shoot down these ciphers and get by them. Really making use of that hanging mode in this section of the game.
My father had some unfinished business with him.
Olga, calm yourself. Feelings.
Screw your plan. I've been waiting for this day for 2 years, and I will send him to the bottom of the ocean, right next to my old man.
The launch comes first.
Damn it. Where is Ocelot?
Not here.
I don't trust him.
Don't talk that way about one of your own.
He's not one of my own. He left my father to die, remember?
Olga, we'll talk later. We need to get started on the final checks for the unit.
All right. I'm headed back there.
The upper connecting bridge to Shell 1 is down.
What about the chopper?
The cam-off is out of action. Take the oil fence from strut L.
I'll tell my men to start pulling out.
Not yet. Their retrieval comes last. The intruder's still at large.
Snake.
What about the other man?
He's got luck on his side, certainly.
He survived that explosion. Listen, Olga, the code confirmation is in 1 hour. Keep the president alive until then.
I know. No one gets in here. Turn the currents on.
Of course. High voltage currents on.
The door stays shut unless the president manages to take out that circuit panel from inside the room. And it's no job for bare hands.
All right. Come back immediately.
One more thing.
What?
We leave for Russia when this business is done. I want half the money for that.
Of course. That was part of the agreement.
We start living for ourselves after this. If there's anyone who wants to stay here, I want you to take good care of them.
Gladly. Gerlukovich soldiers are the cream of the crop.
It's time they went free.
What happened to rebuilding Mother Russia?
The old man is dead. The world is a different place now.
It's your life.
Just as a reminder, I'm going to say this again, one last time. Don't try anything on us.
The feeling is mutual.
I'm in front of the room where they're keeping the president.
Everything all right?
No sign of flooding, but I can't get close to the door. The floor is electrified.
Don't test it. You'll be bacon.
Any suggestions?
Remember the Shadow Moses VR training?
Take out the circuit panel?
Right.
But there's no way into the room.
Try ventilation ducts.
Yeah, I think I see one.
Look for a remote control missile launcher. You can guide it through the duct into the room.
Then target the circuit panel. Got it.
Right, but make sure you don't hit the president.
The president is wired with nanomachines. If we know the frequency, I can raise him.
We've tried that repeatedly, but there's no response. It looks like the walls have a built-in radio shield.
So that's why Ames lost contact with him.
If you need to confirm his position, you can log into the node.
Understood.
Locate a remote control missile launcher first.
While we have a moment, I just want to mention about the seeming familiarity of this game. Remember that Metal Gear Solid was a very popular game, and Metal Gear Solid 2 comes out a couple years later. It's like a big system seller. But they have this weird feeling of familiarity between the two of them. You have things like Cyborg Ninja that shows up. There was a Cyborg Ninja in Metal Gear Solid 1, there was one in Metal Gear Solid 2. And then you talk about things like a hostage situation, not a hostage situation, but a terrorist situation in a facility where this Metal Gear is being developed. Well, it's the same thing between Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. Then there was like the guy who goes, you try to rescue him, the hostage you try to rescue, and then he dies unexpectedly. Before it was like the Arms Tech president or the DARPA chief, where in this game it's Richard Ames. The weird feelings of familiarity between the two games, And I'd say it was something that I really didn't approve of when I first played through the game. But it does get explained pretty well, the reason why that's happening. We just have to be a little bit more patient with it. I remember Olga was on board the tanker, and it was her father that was leading the Russian terrorists that were trying to steal Metal Gear Ray. Even though Ocelot seemed like the guy who was really in command. Well, Ocelot went and killed Grulukovich. So
Jack, is that you? Jack, have you remembered what day it is tomorrow?
No.
I see.
You said you had something you wanted to talk to me about? What was it?
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Why does it have to be tomorrow?
So I can build up enough courage first. And so you won't run away.
I would never do something like that.
Liar. Every time I want to talk about something, you suddenly remember that you have some work you have to do, or you get a stomachache.
Hey, that's not...
You know it's true. What are you so afraid of?
I'm not afraid of anything, and I won't try to run away.
Is that so? Well then, we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah,
So you have to come back, okay?
I know.
And Ocelot went and killed Grulukovich. Olga doesn't know this. Olga doesn't know that Ocelot killed Grulukovich also. Olga doesn't know that Ocelot is seemingly working...
Who's there?
Working against her interests. I don't know what Olga really wants. She seems like she wants whatever her people want, whatever her men that work under her want, part of the unit, but it doesn't seem immediately clear what Olga wants out of this. But whatever it is, it's not what Ocelot's after. Ocelot seems to be working on his own, or he's fiercely loyal to Solidus. Because it seemed sort of like he was working for Solidus before. And here we are, and he's following him, and he even gave him Metal Gear. I mean, that's a pretty big thing.
Colonel, B1 is completely flooded from what I can see.
You'll have to swim through.
I'm fine with swimming.
Stroke the water and move forward by pushing the punch button. Push it in rapid succession to swim faster. Change your heading with the left analog stick. Up will take you up. Down takes you lower. Left and right to face those directions. The O2 gauge will appear under your life gauge while you're underwater. The gauge corresponds to the amount of air you can hold from a single deep breath. Once the O2 gauge falls to 0, the life gauge will start to drop. You need to be aware of that.
So where does that leave Ocelot? Because at times he does seem like he's working on his own. Because at one part he was watching Raiden sort of interrogating Richard Ames. Didn't tell Solidus about it, or at least we don't think he did. And then pretends that he didn't know Raiden was talking to Ames when he approached him. Even though he knew exactly what was going on there. So it feels like he knows something that he's not telling Solidus. But on the other hand, he's willing to go through this enormous effort to support Solidus. He gave him the Metal Gear. He was basically facilitating this ability to attack the big shell and steal this Metal Gear. So perhaps he's working for Solidus, but he's doing it in his own way. Okay, now that we have our Nikita launcher, this is a gun, a weapon a familiar thing with Metal Gear Solid 1, and it goes back to that idea that I was talking about. There was this familiarity, because we had to do basically the same thing before. Launch a Nikita missile, a weapon I don't think exists in real life. Guide it around and then blow up a power panel to disable an electrified floor so we can pass. We're going to run out of fuel here. It's going to blow up in the vents. Now, in this game, we're basically doing the same thing. What is that? Why is this thing so familiar? Why is it doing the same thing that the first Metal Gear Solid did? Not only that, we're also going to do this to go and, rescue a president. Now, at one point, we had rescued the president of Arms Tech in Metal Gear Solid. Now we're rescuing the president of the United States in Metal Gear Solid 2. Whoa!
What is that?
All due respect, Mr. President.
What are you doing?
Get the hell out of the way. Oh, that should have killed him. But he's alright. That takes care of that. Now we can just go in there and talk to the president. But this episode will be running way too long if I do that now. So I apologize, but I have to end it here. See you next time, and we'll go and talk to Mr. President.